Apple just locked in the date. And the schedule that follows it changes almost everything about how you plan the next few weeks if you're buying this phone. The keynote is September 9th. Pre orders are not when you think. And there's one feature coming to the iPhone 18 Pro that every other review is going to focus on, but I think they're focusing on the wrong one. We'll get to that. The iPhone 18 Pro is coming in September 2026. That part isn't news, but the exact schedule, keynote, pre orders, iOS 27 on sale date, that's where things get interesting this year because 2026 has a wrinkle that shifted almost every date on the calendar. I've gone through every report, every leak, and every piece of Bloomberg intel to put this together. Here's what we know, and here's what it actually means for you. The keynote is Wednesday, September 9th, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK, Steve Jobs Theater, Cupertino. Now, a site called Channel News ran a piece claiming September 8th. They were wrong. Apple has never held an iPhone event the day after Labor Day. Labor Day this year falls on Monday, September 7th. That makes Tuesday, September 8th, a non-starter. Wednesday, September 9th, ticks every box. And Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, who initially leaned towards September 8th, has since confirmed September 9th as the target date. So, September 9th, lock it in. Here's where 2026 gets genuinely unusual. Normally, pre-orders open the Friday after the keynote. The Friday after September 9th is September 11th. Apple has never opened iPhone pre-orders on September 11th, and this year is the 25th anniversary. They're not about to start now. So pre-orders move to Saturday, September 12th, same time as always, 5 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. UK, iOS 27 general release, Monday, September 14th. Look for it from 8 a.m. Pacific, Monday, 8 and yes, it'll crash every server it touches for the first 20 minutes. Reviews embargo lifts, most likely Wednesday, September 16th, and the phones go on sale Friday, September 18th. One more thing on the schedule. If you want to pick your model, color, and storage in advance, Apple sometimes lets you fill your bag the night before pre-orders open. It doesn't happen every year. Given the September 11th situation, don't count on it this time. Okay, so the design. The iPhone 18 Pro is keeping the same basic shape as the 17 Pro, same 6.3-inch display on the Pro, same 6.9-inch on the Pro Max, same triangular camera plateau on the back, but three things are changing. And one of them is genuinely welcome. First, the dynamic island is getting smaller, somewhere around 35% narrower according to leaks. The true depth camera components are moving under the display. Will Face ID be fully under display? Reports conflict. Gurman says smaller island still there. Wayne Ma says single pinhole. Apple is reportedly still deciding. Second, the two-tone back is gone. The iPhone 17 Pro's split between glass and aluminum was polarizing, and Apple knows it. The 18 Pro blends the two more seamlessly, which honestly should have been the call from the start. Third, colors. Dark cherry is the flagship new option. Also in testing, light blue, dark gray, silver. Black is reportedly not coming back for the second year running. And if you loved space black, I'm sorry. Apple made that call, not me. Every year I tell you the chip is faster. This year I actually mean it differently. The A20 Pro is Apple's first chip built on a 2-nanometer process. For context, the A19 Pro was 3 nanometer. Moving to 2 nanometer means more transistors in the same space, which means more performance, better efficiency, and more headroom for Apple Intelligence to do its thing. Estimates suggest roughly 15% faster performance and 30% better efficiency than the A19 series. And the packaging is new too. Apple and TSMC are using a technology called wafer level multi-chip module, which means RAM is integrated directly onto the same wafer as the CPU and neural engine. The expected RAM is 12 gigabytes, same as the 17 Pro, but the architecture around it is meaningfully better. That 30% efficiency gain, that's the number nobody's going to put in their thumbnail, but it's going to show up in your battery life every single day. Okay, this is the part. The iPhone 18 Pro is getting variable aperture on the main camera. Every iPhone Pro since the 15 has been locked at f1.78. Fixed aperture, no adjustment. The lens does what the lens does. With variable aperture, you physically change the lens opening. Wider for low light, narrower for deep depth of field. It's the kind of control that used to require a separate camera. Now it's in your pocket. And here's what's wild. This is the thing I think most reviews are going to bury in paragraph 4, because everyone is going to lead with the dynamic island shrinking or the chip. But variable aperture is a genuine photographic shift. Ming-Chi Kuo called it back in November 2024. It's happening. On top of that, Samsung is reportedly building a new 3-layer stacked image sensor for the 18 Pro. Sony has been Apple's sole sensor supplier for years. If Samsung's sensor makes it in, that's a supply chain shift that almost never gets mentioned. And the telephoto is getting a wider aperture too, more light, sharper zoom shots, better portraits at distance. The camera system on the iPhone 18 Pro is going to be the most capable iPhone camera ever shipped. Which, sure, I say that every year, but this time the reasoning is more specific. Battery first. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is rated for approximately 5,391 milliamp hours in China, up from 4,823 milliamp hours on the 17 Pro Max. That's close to a 500 milliamp hour increase, combined with the A20 Pro's efficiency gains and Apple's C2 modem. Yeah. The battery life on the 18 Pro Max is going to be legitimately impressive. The C2 modem is Apple's second generation in-house cellular chip. The C1 launched in the iPhone 16e. The C1X arrived in iPhone Air. C2 should bring better speeds and better power management. One wrinkle: US models may still use Qualcomm hardware. International models are more likely to get the Apple C2. Worth watching when the specs are confirmed. One more thing: 5G satellite internet, full internet connectivity through satellite. Not just emergency SOS, Apple is partnering with a satellite infrastructure that now includes Amazon's LEO network through its Global Star acquisition. If this ships on the 18 Pro, it's the biggest connectivity upgrade since 5G itself. So, September 9th keynote, September 12th pre-orders, September 14th iOS 27, September 18th phones in hand. The iPhone 18 Pro brings a smaller dynamic island, a variable aperture main camera, the A20 Pro on 2 nanometer, a better battery, a new modem, and iOS 27 with a rebuilt Siri. If you're upgrading from an iPhone 15 Pro or earlier, this is the clearest case for upgrading I've seen in 3 years. If you're on a 16 Pro or 17 Pro, the camera is the reason to consider it. The rest is incremental. And if you're waiting for the foldable iPhone, the so-called iPhone Ultra, that's launching at the same event. I'll have a full breakdown on that separately because that device has a very different story. One thing I'm genuinely curious about: variable aperture on a phone sounds incredible on paper. Will it actually change how people take photos, or is it a spec that lives in reviews and dies in real life? Let me know what you think.